As a dancer, I remember I used to work like 16 hours in a day, barely eat, and I was like underweight, malnourished. Ghar, paisa, pani,
Yeah.
shadi, wo sab. You're looking at what works and what interests you at the same time, which is a
Yeah.
tough combination to have. They all do clickbait. Clickbait's the way. It is the
Yeah.
technique of YouTube if you want
Yeah.
to do well.
Okay, 1 million coming. Any plans?
Malayalam cinema is a great example of where their trailers are not really investing in a lot of money into advertising on every single YouTube video, but they still bang views in terms of being on OTT platforms.
Do you think you have reached that I made it point?
I am very guilty of taking the bait during that toxic time.
Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince and welcome to the new podcast. And I'm so happy I talked to Jamie Pants 4, aka Anmol Jamwal, aka Pride and Refuse Productions. I know all of you are a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of him, and it was a delight talking to him about various stuff in life, YouTube, relationship advices. It was an amazing discussion, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you do, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay, first thing, a fanboy moment for me, honestly.
No, shush, don't say that, please.
So, you know what, like you always wonder, right? Dreaming, oh, I have talked to him, what will I say? The first question I want to ask you, all your videos end with that's the video, guys. Like, share, subscribe, check out Instagram. Is it already recorded, pre-recorded, and you add it to all videos, or you say it?
No, because sometimes, I've done that where, okay, it's already pre-recorded, so I'll just post the same clip every time. But I've noticed that if I'm having a bad throat or like my voice modulation is completely screwed that day, so
Yeah.
it looks like someone else is talking completely in the conclusion. So I just make it a point, ab to rati hai, so I might as well just like do it every time I end the sort of like voiceover. Yeah.
I just
No,
found it.
somehow I can't see me. That's fine, right? That's normal, right? Whenever I do these Google meetups, I just
So if you click, there's
yeah.
you'll see yourself on top. You return
Okay, okay,
on
okay,
that.
okay.
There'll be
Yeah,
a like 4 boxes. If you
got it.
yeah,
Perfect.
like you don't have to look at yourself. You you know yeah.
थोड़ा सा conscious हो गया यार, कैसा लग रहा हूँ?
You're looking great, man. There are a lot of
No.
questions about fitness also.
Nona, by the way, are you in Goa?
Yes.
Ah, no wonder, yaar. I hope family and everything is safe.
Yeah, we are all right. I don't leave. Like, I think last I went outside my house was 3 weeks ago just to get ration.
Oh
So
wow.
I'm actually
Yeah, that's
like enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I like this staying in one place. So parents are not happy, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just saw your friend's video. Got a little personal by the end, like that.
Which friends video?
Just
Oh,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No. I noticed also, I think I got really emotional while watching the show. So I just wanted to reiterate in the video also that, dude, I'm a fanboy. It's coming from a fanboy. So the bias does exist, but it's just that I'm not a fan of absolutes.
Yeah.
Dissing the show completely for its certain problematic aspects is something that I don't agree with. So that's why I really felt really like strongly about it, because Twitter really pissed me off. Why are we doing this Friends reunion? Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's so overrated and all of that. I was like, screw you guys.
I've noticed that with
Yeah.
most things which are more popular, so there are this kind of a group of people who hate anything which is very popular, which is very
Yeah,
mainstream.
yeah.
Just because they haven't even seen it, and
I mean, if you
Martin
look at all,
Scorsese.
yeah, all of Martin Scorsese, or even if you look at Bollywood, you look at all of Karan Johar movies. No
Yeah.
matter, even if they're good, it's like, how can we diss it a little bit more? If you see Sandeep or Pinky Farrar,
Yeah.
some people had not even seen it and were like, it's going to be shit. So
Yeah.
the perception, that bias, not a big fan of it.
I think that movie surprised me. Like, I wasn't expecting it from the pair has been popular. They've done a lot of good work, but I think both of them surprised me.
Did you see it in the theater or
No, at home.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay. No, but I just feel like Dibakar Banerjee is too good that way, yaar. So he
Yeah.
can churn out a performance from Arjun Kapoor also, so tells you his skill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. First, I want to ask you about the charity live streams. How did
Mhm.
that happen? The idea?
I, Nona, for a while felt a bit helpless as a creator, in the sense of I think it was more of having an existential crisis of whether there is any point of what I do for a living. So, just with noticing all the problems that were happening. And the second wave had really hit home. So, the sad part about India, I think Veerdas also said this about it in the stand up, is that we really wait for the crisis to happen to bring amends to it.
Yeah.
So the fact that, I could see on a daily basis of what was going on, and as I'm sure you could and everyone could, then I just thought that there comes a responsibility with it. If you do have a particular base of people who can generate an amount to help for a good cause, I think it's the least I could do. So the fact that I had some sense of communication with people who are doing well in this space and could get them together to do something, even if it was a small amount, I thought it was the least I could do for the cause.
I
Yeah.
think a great initiative, and I think that that's what like a lot of people feel. Even I felt, what can I do? It feels weird to put out the content, then to try to tell yourself no, it's helping someone. And I did get. I'm sure you will be getting it too, but in more quantity. But I did got a comment from a doctor who's like, when I'm free, I watch your videos. I'm like, oh, that hit hard. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and 100%. And a lot of skepticism comes with it कि मेरे 20 रुपए या 100 रुपए देने से क्या हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
But just the amount that is being contributed to people who are working on the ground level, I feel like there is such a necessity for funds, and the fact that we can do it and provide in any way,
Yeah.
even if we can't go on the ground and help ourselves. I think it becomes I think this is the first time I've seen, with all due respect to our political officials and everything, but civilians do so much and come together to really work for the cause together. And I think social media has been great that way,
Yeah.
where everyone's worked towards at least making some kind of change.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Orkut days?
Oh, loved those Orkut days, bro. High five days, dude. My thing started MSN chat rooms first.
All
And
right.
that was the first thing that I did the moment I got back from school. And that was the only way I knew how to hit on women. And then Orkut was a sort of dicey situation for me because I didn't really know how the scrap thing worked. And I was like, okay, this is a bit odd. But high five was like my glory days, where like there used to be profile comments and your top friends. So, and then in those top friends there used to be a category of who's the best catch in your school. And then
Yeah.
somehow I would be listed on like some really attractive girl's profile. I'd be like, dude, I'm making it right now. But yeah, high five awkward days were quite insane.
Yeah, like it was weird. I remember when we first got the internet, and I had like no idea what really internet is, and the Airtel, I think it was Airtel first. So Airtel guys came in, they installed and everything, and like, okay, now what? Open the browser. It's just white Google, and
Yeah.
okay, what? I thought there'll be something fancy, and and then you explore a lot of different things. Then all could happen. Then people move to Facebook. Were you someone who moved to Facebook also?
See, I'll tell you, at that point of time, my mom was a struggling journalist. My dad had just joined the workforce in Delhi. So money was like very, very new. So I think my dad, who had just sort of like spent a year or two establishing himself, I think the first big purchase he did was after his car was a computer, which was an LG computer. And I remember we only installed 2 games on it, which were demo versions of FIFA 99 and Hercules. And
All
me and my
right.
brother were only constantly playing that. And then suddenly we were like, okay, there's only Google and Ask Jeeves. Okay, so you have to figure out these are your search engines, and if you want to search for anything. But yes, my progression in terms of at least socializing with people has been MSN and Hotmail, and then High Five, and then Orkut, and then Facebook was like the cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the age where, yeah.
And I think nowadays no one uses Facebook, like at least us, the
Oh
the
my God.
millennials.
People in their mid 20s who have not adapted to how technology works and how it's constantly evolving, they're still on Facebook. They're still arguing with their masis and chachas in the comment sections. So I think families are predominantly still on Facebook, and
Yeah.
really love to have arguments on those comment sections and everything. But it is definitely become a boomer website, though it is, I think, one of the worst websites in terms for content creators.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is absolutely no sense of clarity with how content ID can be traced on that website. Literally, people can just take your videos from YouTube, sell it as their own on Facebook, and there will be no ramifications whatsoever. So
Yeah.
Facebook that way is absolutely like, it's like it's like a dense forest where you don't have like any idea where to go,
Yeah.
for creators at least. But I just go on that website to post the video, post the YouTube link of the
Yeah.
video. Though a lot of these creator friends of mine have recommended that I should upload the video separately on Facebook because its monetization is something that you should look at. But I found it really problematic because I have noticed a lot of pages on that same platform just use my content as their own,
Yeah.
and there being no way for me to like stop it.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's frustrating.
That way YouTube, no matter how much you criticize it, they've
Yeah.
streamlined that process where at least there is a sense of ownership that a content creator can have.
Yeah. I
Facebook
think
is, I don't know.
I think YouTube has improved a lot over the years. Just
Yeah.
a year back it was so different, and now it's so different.
Oh my God, I'm just remembering as a school student, college student, binging on YouTube videos and the videos I was watching then, and now what the platforms become. It's crazy.
Yeah. So what has been your educational background?
So school or college?
Both.
So I was in Delhi till seventh grade. Then I went to boarding school
All
in
right.
Dehradun. I was there till seventh till 12th. I was in boarding school. Passed out, IC student. Then didn't meet the cutoff. I think I got 94 point something, and I wanted to do BCom honors in Delhi University. Cutoff was, I think, 97.25. Then had to do ECA. So in
Okay.
DU, you can either do ECA or sports. Stephens and SRCC don't have sports. No, Stephens doesn't have sports. Sorry, Stephens and SRCC don't have ECA. ECA is like extracurricular, so you can
Yeah.
audition for dance, music, etc., and then they can consider you for the position. So I auditioned everywhere and got into Hansraj. So I was in Hansraj College, did BCom honors from there.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
quite a lot.
I was before I went to DU, I was about to go to Bombay. So I
Alright.
went for a 5-day session in Bombay just to check out which colleges I can get in, because Bombay cutoffs used to come earlier than DU. So I remember going to Bombay and I got into HR, I got into Jai Hind. The dream college was Xavier's, but I think I didn't even apply or didn't wait for the exam because there was an exam that was going to come after the DU cutoffs come out. Anyway, a lot of like back and forth here and there. But I got into HR, and the first thing was like this. Other than in DU, where the government babas are doing your admission process, in Bombay, the seniors are doing your admission process.
Yeah.
And I just looked at the crowd and I was like, this is amazing. This is beautiful. I should just stay in Bombay forever. But my mom was like, no, there isn't a campus, because, most Bombay campuses are just buildings.
Yeah.
So she wasn't too happy with that. But I would have loved to study in Bombay. But DU was also nice.
Of course, that DU is like one of the best, right, in the country.
Yeah, but it becomes rather awkward when you have a BCom honors class of all 97 percenters who are basically preparing for their CA, and
Yeah.
जब क्लास की इंट्रो होती है वो पूछते हैं तो क्या बनना है बड़े होके, क्या CA करना है और फिर MBA करना है, और फिर दो उठते हैं ECA वाले एंट्री, एक बोलता है हाँ मैं डांसर कोरियोग्राफर बनना है, दूसरा बोलता है मैं ड्रमर बनना है, and everyone's like इन्हें एडमिशन कहाँ से मिल गई यहाँ पे? So I was definitely the fish out of the sea in that regard, but I was constantly dancing and performing, so I was barely in class anyway.
So where did this love for dance and it came from?
So my mom, I was a pretty like angsty child in the sense that I couldn't stop moving. So I was when I would be back from school, I would be downstairs constantly playing, and then would come when the sun sets down. So my mom wanted to channelize that energy some way. So I think I was in 5th grade and I got enrolled into a dance institute in Delhi, and then I started dancing from there. And every year or so I would have like a every year I would have, I think, two showcases in City Fort where I would do like a dance program with the institute. Went to boarding school, so it went down a bit, but my love for it still existed. So I was the only boy in an all boys boarding school who was telling guys, dude, no, no, it's cool, it's not like an effeminate thing to do, so
Yeah.
relax, let's just like. So my entire process in boarding school was try to make dance a bit cool, fairly successful at it. And then whenever I would come back for holidays back in Delhi, I would again go to the institute.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I think that training helped. I was dancing in the Commonwealth Games. I was like dancing basically at every event that was happening in Delhi. And then, thankfully, with that skill set, it helped me get into college. And because through that process I got into college, I was a part of the dance institute of that college. So
Okay.
fest seasons are insane in Delhi University.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for at least a 3-4 month period, you're just like constantly traveling with your dance troupe from college to college. So I think the first 2 years of my college, I was just performing. I think I've performed at every college in DU, and that was like primarily the amount of time that was spent when I used to enter campus. It used to be like, अच्छा practice है, फिर उस कॉलेज में परफॉर्म करना है, फिर वापस आएंगे प्रैक्टिस करेंगे उस कॉलेज में. That was most of my life in college, but I actually regret it quite a bit because the concept of college, of like chilling by the canteen and you're going to relax after sort of classes, that didn't exist for me. It was just like constant running around here and there.
Yeah. So we all
Yeah.
know Ritik has been a big
Oh my
influence.
god. Don't even get me started, dude.
So
It's I was thankfully my mom and dad love movies. So from a very young age, and thankfully, my mom used to work for a company that used to have cultural fests within their company, where a lot of schools and colleges would come to auditoriums and they would have movie showcases. So
yeah.
because nepotism, so you would get free passes. So you would land up, and from a very young age I was watching movies maybe I shouldn't be watching, which is like, I'm watching Dil De Chuke Sanam as a 4-year-old. I'm watching Josh as a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I had become obsessed with Shah Rukh at that point of time. And then what happened was, at that point of time there were already established stars who had spent around 9 years in the industry, which was Shah Rukh, Amir, Salman, Sanjay Dutt, Sunil, Akshay Kumar. All of these guys were already established stars, so there was never a new face who had a banging debut when I was a child. So when
Yeah.
he came with Kaho Na Pyar Hai, it blew my mind because I was dancing at that. By that point of time, I hadn't started dancing, but I had never seen someone perform like that. And for it was a new concept altogether for the Indian audience to look at attractive man who looks like a Greek god to move like that.
Yeah.
So I think the novelty aspect of it first fascinated me. And then when I started dancing, Shahid Kapoor came 4 years later. And I was like, I remember when I was in 5th grade, I think I had seen Ishq Wishq like around 50-60 times. That story is extremely problematic ab main jab 27 saal ka ho gaya hu, about all girls being dispensable and this and that. But you look at the songs and the performances of Shahid Kapoor as a dancer in that movie, and he's just like a shamak dancer in that movie. So I really gravitated towards these two guys just because of the way they moved. And I think in the early 2000s at least, they were the only ones who were like really giving it all.
Yeah. So do you think the fitness aspect in your life has come from that? Is that right to say?
Fitness aspects actually come not from, sadly, I would love for there to be an aspirational take in my obsession with wanting to have an aesthetically good looking body. But I think it's more to do with I think I've had a sense of body dysmorphia all my life, where I am of a particular weight, and I would still consider, and from a BMI level it would seem as if everything's normal. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're obviously not satisfied. And people compliment you, but deep down inside you look like shit. That concept which or the voiceover that keeps on going in your head, which you can't control. So I've gone through ebbs and flows with how my body's been since a young age. So I was a very chubby kid initially, and then I lost a lot of weight when I went to boarding school. And then what happens is, Indian schools especially don't prepare you for how you are perceived globally. So when I
Yeah.
went for an exchange program to Germany in 11th grade, I was like this twig, 5 foot, like I think at that point of time I was like 5'7" or something. And I looked like a baby compared to the Russians, the Greeks, the Spaniards. All of them looked like my like 40-year-old uncles, but they were all 16-year-olds. So it made me also think about how flawed our sort of Indian thinking is. There's this डर कि अरे इतनी जल्दी मसल बना देगा क्या, स्टेरॉइड कर रहा
Yeah.
है, and all of that. There is not a concept of building muscle mass from a young age, yeah, unless you're looking at the belt where wrestling is really prominent, like
Yeah.
Haryana, Punjab, where there the khadas are really really entrenched in everyone's lifestyle. But it sort of like blew my mind, because I one of my best friends was this guy called Ilyas from Azerbaijan, and he
Okay.
was 6'4". He was 225 pounds, and he used to play basketball with me. A little fucker, like moving around with him, and I used to be like, "Fuck, dude! I'm like, we are so far behind how we look. No wonder, when you look at, I think there is a world map of what is the average of the population in terms of muscle mass and bone density, and
Yeah.
and I think India, Japan, China come in some of the most lowest categories, also because our diets are really carb heavy and protein deficit.
Yeah.
Whereas in Europe, it's protein high, carb deficit. So हमारा रोटी चावल बहुत चलता है, उनका मीट ज्यादा चलता है, रोटी चावल कम चलता है. So
Yeah.
from a young age, when roti chawal khate rehte ho, you're not really letting those muscles build from a young age or puberty. Whereas those guys are lifting already when they're 13. Light weights, they're doing chest, they're doing bench presses, they're doing squats, they're doing everything. So I think that 3 months of spending time in Germany with an IB curriculum of people from all over Europe sort of like freaked me out a bit. Like, oh, we're so ignorant to all of this.
Yeah.
So I think it sort of made me obsessed then. And then women, of course, because college, they started telling you what their preferences are, who they really look up to, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, they're supremely attractive to Henry Cavill, and you're like, oh fuck, I have to look like Henry Cavill now. So you're constantly aspiring for that. So I've become a realist, where I know certain goals are good. An obsession is also good in my opinion. Uh, but I'm I'm actually not okay with not reaching there, but the pandemic's been really bad to me right now. But I think my obsession with it has led to a healthier lifestyle as well, which
Yeah.
I think should be anyone's goal, a healthier lifestyle. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that everyone should look like a Greek god, because that's also again a very toxic mind space to be in. But I think everyone should aspire to be healthy and active. Yeah.
Yeah. How was your boarding school experience? But like someone, any general person, you told them I went to boarding school, like, oh, तारे ज़मीन पर तुम्हारे साथ क्या हुआ? Like, what was your experience?
So it's generational.
Okay.
My brother went to that same school, then I went to that school.
कभी खुशी कभी
Um,
गम.
yeah, but I was not so much is the case for Laddu, but what happened was that I loved it. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I think we were coddled as kids in day school over here. I was going down the wrong paths. I was kind of like a deadbeat in Delhi. I was trying to be cool when I was a 13-year-old, but my parents were like, dude, shut the fuck up. We need to send you somewhere, because, in Delhi co-ed schools, you do grow up in a bubble, and that bubble becomes your world, and you can't see beyond that world. So boarding school helped me get sort of a reality check. I was hanging around with kids from Saharanpur, from Haldwani, from Meerut, and all of these guys were in my batch. And you had to learn to deal with all these varied personalities for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So living together, working as a team together, and dealing with like excessive ragging to the point of like a lot of people completely mentally break in that kind of environment, dealing with like sort of like below average shit food, and extra physical training, and constantly being at it. It sets you up to have a holistic sort of like development, which is not good. I think where day schools actually trump boarding schools is specialization. So if you look at a lot of day schools, like I'll tell you, my previous school in Delhi, which was modern school Barakhamba, it has a great track record of producing cricket talent.
All
And
right.
what happens is, because they play cricket throughout the year, so what happens with boarding schools is they have seasons. So it'll
Yeah.
be 3 months of cricket, 3 months of hockey, 3 months of football, 3 months of basketball. So you're never really specializing throughout the year for one sport. So if someone really wants to ace a particular thing, boarding school becomes rather problematic. But if you want sort of like a holistic upbringing of a person, both intellectually and physically, I think that's a great sort of environment to be in. But it is a roll of the dice,
Yeah.
or the toss of a coin, where somebody will be either, oh, this was a beautiful experience, or I have some batchmates who've had traumatic experiences, and they're like, we would never want to visit when we have our 10-year reunion and all of that.
Yeah.
I personally had a great experience though. Yeah.
I would, in a sense, can relate to it. Not my boarding school was Goa, so I was born and brought up in Delhi, in Indrapuram, Noida. So in 2010, I think we moved, and I think I had similar experience in school. Being an odd one out, just from the appearance, and trying to, again, I think there was one video you talked about stereotypes, and I left a comment saying that, sometimes what happens, because there are stereotypes about you, because to fit in you had to follow the stereotypes, because everyone think you are that, and if you're not that, they try, oh, he's not like that, we don't know him, let's not,
All you want
engage.
to do at that point of time is belong.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
do whatever you can. Oh, like me, please like
Yeah.
me. So yeah, I
So you
get
have to
it. I
like
get it.
fit that stereotype. And I think again, I really feel that if I had stayed in Delhi, I would have turned out very different. Maybe, cut my hair, become cool and all of that. And coming to Goa was a cultural shock.
Mm-hmm.
No one, not even a North Indian maybe in the beginning. I used to play 365 days cricket, going out with friends and everything. I didn't go out to play for 4 years straight. And even the school I was in, in that school, like it's a gov- government school kind of a thing. And there were like students with me who are, kids of housemates.
Okay.
And in the big, and the structure, because it's rains a lot in Goa, no, so the structures are not that beautiful. It was a
Mm-hmm.
government school, very low fees, and I and my sister were pissed on my father. How could you
Mm-hmm.
even, how can you even consider this? But I think that 1 year I spent there, I think that changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time when my father said, let's move to the school. I'm like, no, I don't want to, I enjoy it here. So I think for you, I don't know how boarding school in that sense shaped your, the upbringing,
See, see, I think boarding school changed me forever. I think it completely changed. It first of all made me respect my parents even more. It brought a sense of independence within me, which I didn't know existed. It forced me to figure things out after school. I
yeah.
mean, I think the only thing maybe it ill prepared me for was women, and how to deal with dating. That was one thing that it ill prepared me for. Maybe Germany helped me in those 3 months that my boarding school couldn't for 5 years. But
Yeah.
it was a very rewarding experience just to be a part of that clan of students. And I think I have also made friends like for a life.
Yeah.
So I am grateful still, irrespective of all the scars that existed in the journey of that experience.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
that's very much represented in your videos. It's not easy to catch nuances when you're talking about a movie, you're talking about something, the details you try to catch and share with people. If it's not authentic, it's you're trying to just show off, oh, these are the things I got to know about the film. Though I'm saying it, you can easily see in the video when you talk about the films, the details, the nuances. It comes from experience and not by reading someone else and just saying it on the video.
Have you noticed a sense of then plagiarism that exists where people are just saying what others are saying and then making it as their own?
Yes, I have. I think it
Uh,
happens a lot. I've seen people taking like a whole video and making it a blog post and saying they posted it. I think it recently
oh
happened
my
with one of
god.
my known associate. So
Mm.
it happens. It happens a lot. I think I actually made a video about it.
Oh.
So I reviewed AK versus AK in that
Mm.
style. So I tried to make the review in that style, and at the end the reveal is that, oh, I read it up, I saw your video, I read all the things, and then I made the video. So
No,
in
no, no.
that kind of
I
thing.
think I have stopped maybe observing these things, but I remember at one point of time I had become really pissed off because I would see so much plagiarism. Also, I would see some commentary videos talk about the same movies that I had made a Matlab Kuch Bhi episode on, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, interesting. Wow, you're just changing the format in which I presented it and making it your own. Great. And now I just see some articles which present the same topic but presented in a different format, and I'm like, oh, you're just
Yeah.
plagiarizing. But sadly, bro, that is also the game of the internet, where I sometimes see these Instagram reels also, and it's the same gag played 1,000 times, but every nobody cares about where the original post is.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, when I see Twitter also, I see tweets by people on something which is funny, and then it comes in my comment section, and I would be like, oh, I just read a tweet which was
Yeah.
exactly the same thing. So
Yeah.
it's a weird space. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about going from Anmol Jamwal to becoming Jammy Pants 4 or TRP. The journey, the journey. Anmol Jamwal in 10th standard, what he's thinking about the future.
Oof, oh my god, nowhere close to where I ended up. 10th grade, I was thinking, 10th grade, though I didn't think that much. 10th grade, I was like, actor ban jaunga. 10th grade, because I was still like obsessed with movies. I was still dancing constantly. I was choreographing on the side. So at that point of time, I was not even thinking about the career. 12th grade is what happens when I saw Alma Matters, and when I see some of these podcasts where Biswa and all of these guys talk, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is exactly what happens when peer pressure kicks in, where you decide your courses to aggregate into the best percentage that can objectively lead to a DU cutoff,
Yeah.
but you take away from the fact what your interests are. That doesn't matter. What can objectively lead to a 97-98%, वो करते हैं. उसके बाद क्या करना है? अच्छा, so placement हो जाएगी. So the thing is also, which is naive of many Indian students back then, I think students are way more aware right now of like the way they structure their dream colleges, their safety nets, and everything. But at that point of time, the concept of international universities was still it was in that process of like there is information, but a lot of people didn't have proper access to how to strategize it.
Yeah.
बट आई वाज लाइक, अरे डीयू में होगा 97% तो आ ही जाएंगे, और क्या कहते हैं एसआरसीसी या स्टीफेंस. And that when you're performing at that level, you're like, अरे it's going to be a cakewalk anyway. So when I remember in 12th grade, the entire point was to get into SRCC or Stephens. And when in 12th you didn't meet the cutoff, I was like, life's over. Fuck that,
Yeah.
dude. And my father and my mom were like, you doing, relax or whatever. But I remember till that point of time, I had not thought about anything, because the entire thing was, I'm going to do what the achieving students are doing.
Yeah.
You're going to, he's having a great percentage. I'm going to obviously do what he's doing. Oh, you're going to look for a financial consultancy job in Gurgaon eventually. Oh yeah, I'm going to look for that, even though I don't fucking care about it. So it had sadly become whatever good achieving people are doing. And then I had got into several international universities in the UK and US, but it wasn't financially feasible for my parents, so I couldn't go. And at that point of time also, the case of scholarships was very bleak, and it was a rather sad situation for me not to go abroad. But then when I reached college, I was like, I'm just gonna dance. I don't give a shit about anything else. So my parents were not happy with that, because dance, just as a profession, unless you own your own business, does not pay well. If
Yeah.
you're a freelance dancer, unless you're absolutely killing it with numbers of the workshops you take, and you're sort of like guaranteeing hundreds of people on a consistent basis coming in, it's not a feasible job. It's
Okay.
very physically demanding. As a dancer, I remember I used to work like 16 hours in a day, barely eat, and I was like underweight, malnourished, really happy. But it was like hectic hours. Like,
Yeah.
I think my thought process was that only, that I'm going to dance and choreograph. Also what happens is that when you grow up with a particular art form, you think
Yeah.
that can be your be all and end all. It's only your capitalist mindset comes in a little later, where it's like, oh shit, ghar, paisa, pani,
Yeah.
shadi, wo sab. So but I was like, I'm gonna choreograph and dance. So in third year itself, I joined a company. I started working in Kingdom of Dreams in Gurgaon. I was performing regularly in their musical over there. I was working with a company, teaching on the side, choreographing as well. I did that for like 2 or 3 years. Money was really bad, so I quit. And then I joined a friend of mine who was doing events and weddings, which is a lot of money but shit work.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with choreographing chachas and nanis and tayas and all of that, but you're getting a good fat paycheck. So you're like, okay, I'm ready to do this, which I couldn't do for a long time, because it's soul crushing as hell. Because you're like, did you dance all your life to do this in a living room randomly in someone's house? You
Yeah.
didn't want to do that. So that's when, thank my parents for sort of losing patience with me. They were forcing me to prepare for my cat exam for MBA, and I was like, I have to somehow prove financially that I can lead another path. So I
Yeah.
think I asked for a year, and in that year I sort of like circumvented and created this niche. But yeah, that was sort of the trajectory in which I went.
So I was just going through the channel, the early videos, and I saw you started with the dance sequences, and then started the reviews, but they were on face, using on the camera, and I think the 14th video is at 1 million. I don't know if it happened that time and now it has reached.
What is a dance video?
No, no, it's I think I don't think it was a
Was it a
dance video.
review video?
It was, I think, the list of five, something like that. Yeah.
Ha.
Uh,
It must be a listicle. There is no
yeah.
way at that point of time reviews million views, not at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. I think then the 19th video hit 1 million and the 20th video hit 5 million.
Yeah, so the moment, see, Nona, when the numbers are low,
Yeah,
you're looking at what works and what interests you at the same time, which is a
yeah,
tough combination to have.
yeah,
Because most of the time what works is you're something not interested in, because it's topical, it'll go away, it'll trend for a while, and then you'll get over it, and then you'll wonder, why did I do that? Just for the views. Yep.
yeah,
So I remember at that point of time, nobody was doing sort of, at that point of time, 2016 is a time where only Anupama Chopra and Raji Masand were there.
yeah,
Only both of them were doing sort of Bollywood stuff. And I just wanted to get in and just like upload so much where, I just like pummel through and somehow create a niche for myself. So listicles was my way in to sort of create a voice for myself, because it's just more clickbaity. It's honest.
yeah,
There is no two ways about it. The moment you put a top 5 in a title, it's much more appealing to someone to click it,
yeah,
especially strangers, not people who are already privy to your content. So it was my way in, and then slowly and steadily I created it where I can have my own voice, where I can start talking about like Friday
yeah.
releases. Yeah.
I think that, what about, okay, I think you answered that, not using the,
Yeah.
I think listicles worked. And I think that's what I think everyone says to on YouTube, whatever works, just keep making that. And I think like actors, it's like, one for you, one for me, when you reach a certain place, right?
See, but I'll tell you, like, I don't know. Right now, I find this space very odd. Like, I don't even know how to process it in a way that is kind.
Yeah,
It's I mean, you know what happened last year and how toxic the entire sort of space had become.
Yeah,
So I wonder, nobody's really learned from it, dude. Nobody's really learned from it. Nobody wants to take accountability for it. Nobody really cares about the responsibility that happens when someone puts out their content there. So I feel like there is, when I look at some of the most popular creators like Mr. Beast and Sideman and all of these like big conglomerates outside, they all do clickbait. Clickbait's the way. It is the
yeah,
technique of YouTube if you want
yeah,
to do well. If you want to bang views, it is the name of the game. You know, this concept, or I always get it in the comments when there is a rather dramatic thumbnail, is like, Jamie, you don't need this thumbnail, your content speaks for you. But I know, Nona, what kind of
yeah,
views a particular video will do
yeah,
and what elevates it. So, you know, you would be naive to think that me talking about The Disciple will get me 500,000 views. It won't,
yeah,
unless you package it in a way where it's, you know, it attracts a person to click on it.
yeah,
The name of the game is the algorithm as well, which you have to play. So, you know, in this purity of like, I'm not going to succumb to those capitalist ways, you're going
yeah,
to create a video which won't reach that exposure. What's the point? You wanted to reach that exposure, you want to talk about underrated films, right? So you
yeah,
need to reach that audience. I think Vasan Bala was saying this about Mard Ko Dard Nahi Hota also. The problem is not, अरे इंडियन ऑडियंस को कुछ नहीं आता, उन्हें पसंद नहीं है सुपर हीरो फिल्म, इसलिए हमारी फिल्म नहीं चली. वी ऑल्सो हैव टू लर्न ऑन हाउ टू पैकेज अ फिल्म बेटर सो दैट यू नो more
yeah.
people can celebrate this.
I think the attention is what you need, right? I think how I look at it is that if the content is worth it, I don't care about the clickbait. If I'm getting that value out of that
Hmm.
video, it doesn't matter if you're like I don't want to take names. I don't care about what people do. If they can sleep at night, great. I have nothing. Whatever floats their boat. Like Sharam Karo, Bollywood this, Bollywood. Just add that and you have a lot of views. It's all right if
See,
it happens
see,
for
Nona,
them.
I won't be able to say. See, I'll tell you, Diksha, right? Her content, I have never seen.
Yeah,
Okay. So, what I can give her credit for is her marketing is insane. Insane
yeah,
to the point where I don't even think, there are times where I actually check how is she doing, and she bangs views 6 days a week.
yeah,
And, it is something which tells about her determination to keep on going, but also I never click on those videos.
yeah.
Uh, but so you've seen the content, right?
Yeah, I've checked out the videos. Yeah,
Okay, so I can't, so there's no point in me debating about it because I can't give you an informed opinion about it. But I get it. I understand what you're trying to say.
I think like I've seen her videos, and the way she presents herself is really nice, and I think it's that thing, right? Like if the clickbait, the thumbnail, right? If like too over the top, we are not the audience, like, oh, I don't want to know that. Even if it's not that what you're showing in the thumbnail, it's very, you're talking about simple things, but still I'm not the one who clicks. But the people want to watch this. It's like you're delivering them Arnab Goswami kind of content. So take it, have
No,
fun.
see, I am very guilty of taking the bait during that toxic time of being like, oh yeah, this is a fight. This is a
Yeah,
toxic industry. Everyone's being subjugated. It's horrible, and this and that. I completely took the bait of what was being sold to me on news channels. So, the point is there is no retrospective thinking in this space to be like, oh, I may have messed up.
yeah.
So I feel like, a lot of the videos at that point of time which I saw, which were like criminalizing some of the industry folk for the stupidest of reasons, was like,
Yeah.
that is something that irks me.
All right. Moving on. Okay, 1 million coming. Any plans?
What plans are? If I
Finally.
can do a dance routine with Shahid for 1 million, then that'll be good. But the pandemic won't let that happen. Something special, hopefully, man. Like, I always want to give back. So, I feel like artists are having a tough time during this, especially it's lockdown and open. And I feel like they haven't got the real freedom to put themselves out there and do something. So I'm trying to organize something where I can create a competition where they can express themselves and there can be a
Yeah.
something that they can create, and then it can be a fun competition.
Yeah.
But my sole intention will be to give back, because they have been so helpful in the journey, and do something fun on the side as well. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't just want to like dance and be like thanks, I would just want to give back
Yeah.
also.
So you talked about the 1 year thing you asked with your parents and the race against time and all of that. And do you think you have reached that I made it point? Is that happened yet?
No, no, not at all. I think I am thankfully on the path. So maybe 2018, I think 2 years, 2.5 years into it, I was making very less in terms of what should be respectable, at least for my notion of what society has in of कितना कमाना चाहिए इस
Yeah.
age में. But I think I'm definitely on the path. There are a lot of future plans of like how to develop this idea and how to create it as a full functioning business with a team of actual cinema enthusiasts, rather than what I usually see all around.
Yeah.
And I can pat myself on the back that I've been relentless on the journey. So thankfully I've reaped the benefits as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that there's a good long run ahead in terms of where I can see a vision. So I'm just looking forward to the future, because there are various other things to do, sort of
Yeah.
like set up and establish.
So on the journey, of course, there have been ups and downs, and I think what you keep going. I think that's what I love the most. That Javi video, whatever it was. I think I remember I put left a comment on your video talking
Did
about
you
it,
make
and
a video on it?
so I was actually writing a piece on why reaction channels like it's unnecessary thing, and then you posted that video. I'm like, oh, it's the right time to do this. So that night I just went, I just keep writing, and I made that video. And I think I left a comment on your video. I think you watched, liked it also. That I love that you didn't remove the video. I think that was a big thing not to
Yeah,
get removing that video.
so what is your
Yeah, so my point is that I think, see, whatever, like, I don't want to get into the video what happened, that's gone in the past. But the thing that it's not about, okay, if it's not very something everyone agrees on, doesn't mean you cannot have it, the opinion. And I think the best thing was to keep
yeah.
that going. And and I have told you, right, like that inspires us, right? If I've made videos which people don't like at all, I'll not remove it, because I have confidence. No, it is not I can have my opinion. It doesn't matter if people like it or not. I think that what for me was that video, the aftermath of it.
See, I think, Nona, you can see one of the main reasons why you're seeing a case like Salman filing a case against KRK for defamation is not because of his review.
Yeah.
It's because of the slander that is involved in those videos. So when it leads to a character assassination of what is your intentions, and what your organizations are set up for, and you set up sort of like this false notion that you have more information than others about how their organizations work,
Yeah.
then it becomes a slippery slope. I think I was never going to remove the video. I think what happened was that I just took a backseat the moment it had become, when we're talking about a film, or we're talking about, say, we talk about an instance with each other,
Yeah.
and we start arguing with each other, and we're talking about Salman.
Yeah.
Not Salman, screw that. We're talking about any any underrated actor. We're talking about Manoj Bajpayee, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Family Man's super overrated, dude. I mean, the way they portray Pakistanis is so cartoonish. I mean, har
Yeah.
Pakistani cartoon thodi na hota hai. And you're like, what are you talking about? You have no fucking idea, bro. This is the way it is. ISI has no idea what Raw is doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, whatever. We start arguing about these things. And at one point of time, you're like, bro, but his performances have saved me when I was in a deep, dark place and this and that. So when the debate shifts from what we're talking about to what it impacted you personally,
The
then I
merit
can be
of
like,
it.
oh shit. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, at one point of time, I have to take a step back and be like, whoa, dude, that took a left turn that I didn't want.
Yeah.
At least when we're talking about the content, we can talk about it and argue for and against. You, India has done for you, then I'm like, whoa, then I can't, because then it's a sensitive matter. Uh, then I'm going into territory that I never wanted in the first place. See, I'll give it to OSR, which was that, I didn't, it was bad on my part to put them in the same category and say that they do the same thing, even though I had seen some of their videos, and I still felt that there is a weird cushion that they keep in providing that truthful opinion. They still, I feel like, milked the demise of our celebrities, and I didn't find that in any way an honest thing. I felt that it was
I'm,
and
I'm,
when
ki- I'm kind of
yeah.
losing you. Is it my from my side or?
Yeah, your थोड़ा इधर उधर sometimes glitch होता है फिर
Oh,
वापस आ जाते हो.
it's my. Wait, I'll just.
So I was saying that I will still not take back my opinion of how they milked sort of Rishi Kapoor and Irfan Khan's passing, which I felt was odd, or their case of reacting to drone footage of India in lockdown or all of that. And I think these kind of things are sensitive matters which are like acted for entertainment purposes, which I didn't agree with. But uh, I agree with OSR that I shouldn't have labeled them as a part of the problem that exists. But with Jabi, I just wanted to talk about what the matter was. That come on, yeah, if you're praising Race 3 or Bagi 3, there is a reality that most Indians feel, and
Yeah.
you don't have to protect your true thoughts all the time, thinking of the backlash that will happen. But when it turned into it not being about the topic anymore, and how India has saved him, and he stumbled upon us and it's only by chance, then I thought, oh my god, this has become too sensitive right now, where if I go for it and do anything, it would just be not good on my part. I would feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So, and he is a very sweet guy, and I think they have a really good chemistry with each other, Achara and Jabi. And I think one of the main reasons for their success is because their chemistry is so good in front of camera. Now the thing is, the byproduct is Bollywood and India, because we have such a large population that we watch their content. But I still stick by a lot of the things that I said in that video. And a lot of the things that I said were already said by Slaypoint and Shwetab.
Yeah.
But it's just because I put Jabi in the thumbnail, everyone felt like, oh god,
Yeah.
this is drama unfolding.
I
Yeah.
think honestly, I got inspired from Javi, and then that's why I started the channel. And see, I think there's one thing that people think that they need to be loyal to something, to a brand, to a like when Geo came out, so people are loyal to Geo because of Geo. Every prices dropped down. I'm like, I don't care, because of Geo. Airtel decreases the price, and Airtel service is good. Don't be loyal to companies.
See, that's what I'm saying. People are nuanced, people are layered. So,
Yeah.
the concept of having ride or dies is rather dumb, because your aspirational person can still have, fuck ups in the journey.
Yeah.
So, for you to support them in the fuck ups is one thing. And on the other side is rather tell them that, dude, you messed up this time, but do
Yeah.
better, or,
Yeah.
whatever, learn from your
Criticism.
mistakes.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah. And I think people think criticism, what irritated me about the whole thing was my criticism was then turned into, you're just jealous because he has numbers. The problem is when you're not focusing on the criticism, but you're just looking at the analytics now, then there is no argument.
Yeah.
At least talk about what the argument is,
Yeah.
but the problem is, the moment when it becomes about one creator talking about another creator, it becomes a comparative analysis of how they are and how their channels are doing, rather than what's being talked about.
Yeah. I think that sums it up. I don't think we have to add anything to it.
No,
It's
and
good.
I honestly wish nothing but love to
Yeah, definitely,
him
definitely.
and his team. And I did not come with any form of malice at all. And I what I he removed the videos later because I feel like they were anyway attracting toxic But there was a picture created of how there was an unanswered email, and then because of revenge, as if like I
Oh,
was some Bollywood villain or
yeah.
something. For 3 years I was like waiting for my opportunity, like Piccolo and Dragon Ball Z. I'm just
It,
like waiting. But
yes.
it was simple. I had noticed a
Yeah.
trend. It was very close to Irfan and Rishi Kapoor's passing, and that was my trigger to make the video more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do people come to you like, give me some YouTube advice, some tips?
Here and there, but I don't take it very seriously, because I'm a very, very small fish in a big sea. So, I mean, if they want to talk about how to do film content which is digestible for YouTube, then I can give some tippani. But otherwise, nothing. I was like, "Yeah, bhai, mazak mat kar yaar."
Yeah. I think as a content creator, I think one thing that I struggle a lot with is balancing stuff. YouTube, creating videos, editing, family time, health. I'm in such a bad shape. I always have been. So that's a so like I want to ask you like how is it a problem, or have you found out a solution?
Are you doing this full time?
Yes.
So yeah, it is going to consume your life. I don't. So I'll tell you honestly. It sort of did hamper my relationship the moment it became full time. So when work becomes a priority, it sort of does hamper a situation where initially it was sort of a level playing field. So that is still something that I'm figuring out, sort of personal relationships and how to balance it while doing full-time YouTube.
Yeah.
you know I've been with people, but the longevity of it has been really hampered because of the demand of this job and the time it requires on a weekly basis. So that has always been a struggle. So because that has been a struggle, I go through sort of ebbs and flows of like 6 months I'm not going to care about getting into work.
Oh shit. Hey, I'm really
All
sorry for
good.
that.
Light
Yeah,
chali
yeah.
gayi.
It's been it just goes for a second and comes back. I don't know why. I'm really sorry for that.
No, no, don't worry.
So we were talking about balance in life.
Yeah. So to put into perspective that I'm still figuring out how to have a balance with relationships and how to prioritize them with the job that I do. But because that is a constant struggle and something that I'll evolve with, I've realized that it's important right now to focus on myself, and then what
Yeah,
becomes my priority is work, health, and then family. Not in that order: family, health, work, but space out my time for them accordingly, and then figure out how, if you stumble upon someone really special, and then you know
yeah.
how that falls into your list of priorities, then it takes shape accordingly.
Also, our work, talking about movies out, you have to talk about it. It's very, time sensitive. Debate, if you delay it, the views will differ, and it's very important there to, have that, the right timing is very important. So I wanted to ask you, are there some down times, you don't know what should be the next video, there's that creative block?
I mean, yeah, man. First lockdown, I was in Bombay, and I was thinking, fuck, what am I going to do with life now? Because I thought movies are going to shut, theaters are going to shut, everything's going to be bad.
Yeah,
Um, but then I think I've been pretty okay with improvising with content, even if they're not trending.
yeah,
So, if there is something that really fascinates me as a topic, even if it's something marginally related to cinema, which is going to be, what stories can be converted into great movies, or like sort of like cinematic great shots in films, or even stories that come from people who never really made it but had great cinema in the 70s or
yeah,
80s. So I think there is always something to talk about. The only problem is that a lot of people don't know how to market it, and I think a lot of people have to learn the game to make videos marketable for a larger audience, rather than complaining about the algorithm and why people are not interested in great cinema.
yeah,
So I think Malayalam cinema is a great example of where their trailers are not really investing in a lot of money into advertising on every single YouTube video, but they still bang views in terms of being on OTT platforms. Market yourself in a way where even if it's a very niche topic, you can create sort of traffic for that. I mean, I was talking about a Satyajit Ray crime detective series,
Yeah.
which is um, my God, what is the name? Fal. One sec.
Yeah.
My Bengalis are going to kill me. Faluda crime detective series. It's a 19, like, it's a novel converted into several movies. But, you would assume that the Gen Z and the millennials are going to not be interested in it.
Yeah.
But how you package it, maybe in a listicle, maybe in a creative title of a video,
Yeah.
an attractive thumbnail, is something that I think every creator should learn and adapt with. There is no point in creating something plain while your content is amazing. The point to enter is important.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the point of your content being amazing when there's so little people watching it?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite videos has been you did on April Fool's Day,
Oh
where
my God.
you're like
That's
these scripts never made it.
That's all Sharktiman, dude. He's a brilliant creator on Instagram. I don't know why he doesn't upload more content, but he is. That was his whole like thought baby.
I think by the end when you said Star Wars and Sanjila Bansali, I think okay, something is going on here.
I think everybody lost it when Desi Spider-Man came. Everyone was like, "ये नहीं हो सकता."
I believe that actually.
As a gag, maybe in a video movie, right? Yeah.
Okay, something this is something I also feel that our work is so different. It People don't know what it is, about how to deal with it, and we have to first make a video, then edit it, and then put it out with all the right thumbnails. So much thing going on, it requires time. So does it get lonely? Because like maybe again I think something will go back, as you said, right? Fish out of water in school. Is that something you feel still?
I was always a social kid. I was sort of like the social butterfly, maybe in college. I was so if you're a dancer, the ratio is amazing. You're probably one of three men in a 25. I mean, you get my point. Like three out of
Yes, I do.
25 in a class is like men, and then they're all women. So I was really having a ball at that point of time, and I was interacting with so many people. So for me, it is an adjustable process to do a job where I'm supposed to be alone. I am usually surrounded by people.
Yeah.
I mean, all my young life, till I was 24, I was surrounded by people. I was in dance groups. I was constantly doing partner work with people. I was basically surrounded by people. So it has been an adjustable process for me, where I am sort of still trying to figure out how my mental health is sort of like dealing with it. And with that, therapy has helped, and to basically understand or have clarity to what is the most ideal situation for me in order to have a sense of balance. That is why pre-pandemic I was constantly going for dance classes, always like training myself here and
Yeah.
there. So I'm not used to this. So I am trying to adjust it. One of the main reasons why I hate working from home, again, this is first world problems as fuck, but pre the pandemic, I was living in Bombay. I had spent a year and a half over there. I would never work from home. I would always be at a random cafe. So even if I was in Andheri West, I would be in Bandra. I would be in sort of like Santa Cruz. I would be Andheri East, Andheri West, random ass, cafes, just to be surrounded by people. And
Yeah.
Bombay is a place where you're more than likely to sort of like catch a conversation with strangers, and so
Yeah.
I would actually look forward to be in an environment where I can meet someone new, rather than I'm sorry, but if you're constantly working on your next upload, with that it can get super lonely and a super dark place as well.
Yeah.
So I've just made the conscious decision to pre the pandemic, at least, to make sure that I situations where I'm compelled to interact with new people or be with a group of people, but post the pandemic it has been tough. Therapy has helped,
Yeah.
online therapy has helped. And you know to have family around has been a great blessing.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing to have sort of like chill parents who talk to you, who converse with you as equals. So that has finish work and get out of the room, and then you can see dad chilling and
Yeah.
spark a conversation. So
Yeah.
that's a blessing.
So, how did what was Bombay about? Because I think I was in Mumbai when you shifted there, and I was like, "Arey, someday
Yeah.
I'll find him on the street. I'll say hi, Javi."
Where were you?
I was in Goregaon, East.
Oh, okay. You were
Yeah.
working there.
So I did my education there, graduation in animation filmmaking from Film City,
Oh.
inside film.
Ah,
So
wow.
I was there. Then I think in 2019 June we passed out. Did 3 months internship. Now no, and that's continued YouTube and then lockdown, and I'm here now.
Hmm.
So yeah. So what was I think you mentioned on Instagram you are you talking to a director maybe with the script or something.
There is a creative team right now that is working on something. So right now, because of lockdown, it is tough because all of our pitch meetings are happening on Zoom. So
Okay.
there is something in development that I can't really speak about, where we're pitching to certain companies.
Yeah.
If it can get picked up, then great. If it doesn't in the next 6 months, then we'll self-produce it.
Okay.
So there's something in the pipeline, but that's been sort of my dream as well, where on the side that I can have a creative streamlined process also, where we can do something
Yeah.
other than YouTube as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
think that.
Bombay was fun, dude. Bombay, I
Yeah.
love Bombay. I can't wait to go back as well, but right now situation's dicey.
All right. All right. I want to ask. What gives you the high? Every day waking up. What is the thing you want to do, man? Today, and then you feel that. Oh yes.
So I'm super boring, dude. I'm super boring. So my financial incentive is something that at one point of time, you're good with doing this level of performance, and when it reaches here and here, you're okay. Yeah, that sort of like capitalist satisfaction only can grow up to a particular point, right?
Yeah.
So I'm okay being here or here also. So the financial, the benefits reaped at the end of every month through YouTube is something that doesn't give me a high.
Yeah.
What gives me a high is being healthy, one, which is both mentally and physically, which is spending time with parents, especially it's put into perspective this lockdown, this second wave, and how it's sort of hit everyone really badly, losing one's own family members and here and there. It's really put into perspective of how we take just time spent with each other for granted. And it's made me be very thankful for having two living parents, and a lot of people can't say that after this second wave.
Yeah.
So what gives me a high is that I can do what I love and then go back to loving parents. And I think a lot of people should be grateful for their surroundings right now, because a lot of people have lost a lot right now.
Yeah.
So I'm actually very happy right now that I may have recovered, may have experienced loss, but thankfully I still have people around me.
Yeah.
So the high will always be for more and more, and I know मेरे अंदर वो कीड़ा है जो चलते रहेगा कि और चाहिए और चाहिए और चाहिए. पर वो और चाहिए has also been one of the main reasons, one of the byproducts of how I've been brought up, that
Yeah.
for me to be capable as a man I have to do these 20 things. And that is something very tough to re-engineer your mind about कि नहीं यार I should change my thought process, नहीं वो अब है दिमाग में, right?
Yeah.
So there are obviously goals that any random entrepreneur will tell you. But I'm very happy right now that I have loving parents with me.
Yeah. 790 videos in. Uh,
I think deleted or privated a lot, so there must be over 800. But yeah,
cool, cool, cool. Okay, counting all of them, so many videos in. What's the future? Like as you said, want to create by side, you want to create something, be creative person too. Uh, what is the future? Do you see yourself in 40s doing this?
See, I wouldn't say particularly this, maybe in some shape or form, but I always want to be associated with films.
Yeah.
So whether it be the capacity through an entity like Trident Refuse Productions, which is going to form into something in the next 2 or 3 years, or be it as an individual, but I always want to be involved with films. I didn't know that this was going to be my sort of like step inside the door. I thought I would do the conventional process of becoming an AD and then doing the typical process. But I'm grateful that I at least own every single thing that I've done.
Yeah.
So there's a sense of pride that I have, that I don't have to be thankful for someone for the journey or the thing that I've created. So I will always be involved with films. I will always be involved with Indian films. So in some way, shape, or form, whether it be behind the scenes or in front of camera or something or the other, I will always be there. So while Trident Refuse Productions is growing and it sort of becomes its own entity, I will try to see how I can, sort of like improvise my way also, so that
Yeah.
these guys notice us as not just digital partners or digital artists, but like creators who mean business.
Yeah. Do you have regrets in life?
Regrets? No, no. Thankfully, no. I can think about it maybe 2 years from now, 2 years back, and I would have had like several regrets. Maybe like I would have been like, what the fuck am I doing? But I'm actually grateful for sticking by it. Yeah, I've had really dark days where I've been like, and Nona, I've seen your videos, especially your Malayalam film videos, and your eventually over a period of time people connect with the voice rather than I keep on talking about marketing or whatever, but the reason why people are tuning into your channel is because they connect with your voice. And I've been where you are, and I know the frustration that comes with it when you see what the space is and what it produce. I know it's frustrating when you check the trending page and when you see the numbers on just like mediocre content, but
Yeah.
so assure you it will be worth it, because there's a special voice that people connect with. There's a sincerity with which you do your work. That's why a lot of people love you. So I would just say, like, don't be discouraged by what you see, and be good at what you're doing and try to improve yourself. Because I remember just the sleepless nights and like how I would beat myself about what a shitty fucking platform this is. And I would blame several things, and that would consume me so much where I wouldn't focus on what needs to be done next. So I think you're on the right path, and you're just a happy soul that way. So I feel like keep going. It'll
Thank
be a
you.
good fun ride.
Thanks for that. I have to, credit you. I think, okay, I remember, that Sushant video you made. I was like, no, Jamie, why would you do that? Not you, not you. And then I watched it. I'm like, oh, Jamie, you're right. Something is wrong. And then, things happen. And then that video did with Deshbhakt. I think that was a video I sent you a long message on Instagram. And I mean it, I mean it. I think you said something in that, about this frustration, and I was like, oh my god, this is what I have been going through. And knowing someone that has gone through it, and is there, and I'm like, yes, I feel safe, because I don't know, you had someone to look up to, that you had the solo fight, and at least I, behind you, I can, in your shadow, I can do that, and reach there. So I think that video, I think, what made me a fan, I would say.
No, 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 no. You're unique, Nona. That's the best part. There's a reason why when you go through this platform, scroll through everything just seems like the version of the thing that you saw before, and you stand out as someone who's unique. So already that stands out in a where there are already too many versions of each other. So you're in a safe space. So don't worry about that.
Thanks for that. And is I want to talk about death. Is something you fear?
Um, maybe it made me think about it a lot in the last 2 months, what I was consuming and what my family was going through. But fear of it, even though I think it's been sort of, I wouldn't deny with the fact that I think my family has become more aware of taking care of themselves in a way where, there are preventive measures that are taken in order to not reach a point of absolute, emergency. But
Yeah.
I think sadly, that is a situation that comes when we've already dealt with that dire situation. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, now that we almost were in the brink of death, let's completely re-engineer with the way we lived our entire lives. Parents definitely have become more fearful because you have people in their same age bracket passing away. But I am aware of it, not fearful.
Yeah. I think it's
What
not.
about you? What is your perspective on it?
It's not about what happens after death, or like I don't think it doesn't even matter. My fear is like going away, not making it. Like everything I've worked for and not even to get there, and before that it's I am someone who believes in legacy, and sometimes I feel if I'm not there tomorrow, like will anyone even care? So I think that's something I have a little bit of fear about. It's not something I think all day, but definitely something. I think that's where the frustration comes from. That the uncertainty of life. You never know, and then I think again, as I said, after that, who cares? But even
I
after
I
that,
understand. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying for sure. You wonder whether you passing away will just be a WhatsApp forward.
yeah,
So you're saying, but I've also come to the conclusion that it's also sad the way just how social media has become now with the passing of individuals who are noteworthy or popular, and there's a sense of competition even in that,
yeah,
of whose tweet will be the most viral, which is considered to be an homage to the person who's passed. Even the comment section is a way of a competition of whose comment will get the most upvotes, who's going to have the wittiest line, who's going to troll the best. So, it is a sense of sincerity that I cannot gauge anymore. But who I consider if they're there, I think I'll be fine. I don't need a sense of like approval ticket from like a fan base to say, oh, tu bahut acha kaam karta tha. So
yeah,
but I've gone through the exact same thought process that you're talking about. Leaving an impact on this world and being a memory and being written in history forever, like romanticized to a level which um, always becomes aspirational to a point where you don't know what is enough.
yeah,
दिस इज व्हाट मनोज बाजपेयी वो सेइंग, हम बॉम्बे आए थे एक्टर बनने, स्टार बनने नहीं आए थे. स्टार बनने के अगर तुम ख्वाब रखोगे, फिर वो जो लेवल ऑफ सेटिस्फैक्शन है वो यू विल कीप ऑन टॉपिंग इट. नथिंग विल बी एवर इनफ.
yeah,
But if you're bagging acting roles, that's enough for an actor.
yeah,
But for a star, the needs and wants just are infinite.
yeah. Okay. Coming back to your birthday. It's 4th Jan, right? Same here.
Mm,
So
mm,
yeah, next time I'll send you happy birthday and same to you.
mm.
You can
Oh,
send it
4th
in
Jan 90, your which year?
98, 98.
98.
Yeah.
There's another Sikh friend of mine, Prahlad Singh, same batch, Toon School, 4 Jan 1994.
All
Nice.
right.
Mm.
So I don't know if that happened to you, but on your like on a birthday in school, you get to take toffees and distribute around the school with all the teachers. Was it a thing? And were you
Yeah,
pissed?
I think I did it since KG. You could dress up, not
Yeah,
wear the uniform,
yeah,
and distribute whatever.
and take a friend with you who
I didn't
carries the.
really look forward to it. I thought it was really cumbersome. I think sometimes I would just take chutti from school and call friends for the birthday party and
Ah,
not
okay.
do the distribution process at all. Yeah.
I think that was something we all looked for, because first of all you get to dress, second of all you get to take your best friend with you who carries the chocolate and gives, and I'm like just standing there, thank you. And I think if we had an assembly, all the people who had their birthday go on the stage, and everyone sings
Oh,
for them. So the problem was 4th Jan. is just after the winter break
Winter
in
break.
Delhi. And if it's too cold, school is all called off. So I was like, I think it happened to me just 2 or 3 times. That's it. And then I came to Goa. It's did not hear the same thing, but so I was like, gosh, shit.
No, dude, but actually, the worst is that one of my cousins, he's 31st December. So he would have New
Oh,
Year's and his birthday. So like calling people who have plans for New Year's, they would be like, screw that, bhai, we have plans. Tere birthday ke liye aayenge. So 4th
yeah,
Jan was still okay, like a nice buffer from like the New Year's period.
yeah.
But yeah, I understand that. Quite a bummer.
I had this friend. They were twins, sister and brother, and their birthday was on 1st Jan.
Oh shit.
So I like.
Everyone's hungover. नहीं यार अब नहीं आ पाएंगे.
Do you believe in God?
Yes, the idea of it. Yes, nothing specifically. I am not. I do not believe in a particular entity, but I believe in the idea of it. Yes.
Yeah, I think I used to crack this joke in college that I'm an atheist. And like they were like, and they student get it. I'm like, dude, because see, no, it doesn't work. What's your philosophy? Because
Of la-
I saw these. I think something really changed in me when I didn't care about small things, and I think I remember watching Tanmay Bhatt's videos regarding how the brain neurology series. And when I study about that, how everything I'm doing is dictated by something inside. I'm not doing anything, so why should I even care about small things? Let's just live.
Yeah. No, but then, in a way, then I go back to Jordan Peterson, then
Yeah,
the two ends of the spectrum then become either you become a nihilist where you're like, fuck everything, screw everything, what's the point of life anyway? Or you become the man that you become the responsible individual when shit hits the fan in your family and everybody looks towards you.
yeah,
Do you want to be that guy who's like, oh, dude, what are you talking about? I don't even care. Or you want to be the guy who can, keep the ship afloat?
yeah,
I would rather be the other guy. And, people can choose either, and there is no wrong in it. It
yeah,
is a choice of life. But I would rather be in control of, some form of reins in my life, even if it is a conditioning of the way the education system is, the way my parents have brought me up, an amalgamation of everything. But in this thought process of understanding, or the intellectual conversation of what is life, what is the purpose, what is the point,
yeah,
I think at one point of time there is some semblance which is required. My mom would, when I would start giving her gyan, say har cheez movie nahi hoti. So my mother also has this, which is also an ignorant way of a parent saying deal with it.
yeah,
What are you talking about? Stop talking about all of this BS. But I still am, maybe again, as I said, a product of my own conditioning, would like a sense of control where people eventually could see me as a person who can take care of things.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be my first question, but I think throughout we have talked about it.
Hmm.
What COVID has maybe taught you. What are the lessons you have learned?
Well, I think again, as I said, what gives me a high right now is to have, healthy parents next to me, and what has provided me a perspective now is that when I was in Bombay for a year and a half, 2 years, I couldn't care less of what my mom and dad did in the last 24 hours. And at certain points of time, we would go 3 days without talking to each other. We wouldn't even check up on each other because it was assumed everything's fine.
Yeah,
But the importance of checking up with your friends that you love, your family that you love, and it just, you only wait for shit to hit the fan to be like, oh shit, I should take this seriously. That it's just made me more appreciative of the family that I have and the bond that I share with them. And I really want to set myself up in such a way where I know things will be sorted because I'm there. So I think it's important. I know it sounds like super cheesy Bollywood ki, beta sambhal lega and all of that, but it has it yeah, this at least this wave has brought into perspective that I'm so grateful for the way that my parents have brought me up. And as and the least children can do right now is to take good care of them and give them a tight hug and give them a lot of love.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a miracle that none of us have got COVID, because there have been situations I'm like, how is it? Sometimes you question, is there COVID or not, because some things happen that I'm like, how did you get it? But I'm so grateful that didn't happen. And I think one thing that COVID has taught me, it's like I was someone, I always waited for opportunities to come my way instead of grabbing them. And I think this we talking to each other, it's the result of that. The moment I sent you that, I
I'm
sent you, I was
sorry
like,
I took too long, but we
no, no,
got
it's
here.
it's see, I don't think I ever asked for a collab, because
No, but
I
I was
didn't.
like, let's just get it done, dude. What the fuck? We've been talking so
No,
back and forth, so sporadically. I was like, we need to sit and have a proper conversations. We can't have these every 2 weeks में एक comment पे बात की और हो गया काम.
when I sent you that, that's my problem, right? I thought you would like my content. You'd be like, hey, let's catch up. And I'm like, why would he? And when I sent you that, I'm like, shit, I should have sent him that. And I wrote unpopular opinion. Ranveer Singh is not a great actor. I thought you'll miss it somewhere, but you didn't. And I'm grateful for that. Again, I think this has the confidence that when the video, I've seen desperate moments. I've done desperate things. When you came on Twitter, I was tagging you everywhere. Look at my videos, look at my videos, look at
Oh,
my...
okay.
Yes. Oh, thank God. Why did I say this? No.
No,
So
no, no. I know, Nona. I always see you when you're on the timeline or whether I've been tagged in something, but I didn't know Twitter. Twitter is something that I sometimes, I don't go through my mentions because most of it is toxic.
yeah.
Most of it is like, साले देख इस पे FIR लग गया अब तुझे भी लगेगा जेल पे जाएगा तू. So I don't check mentions only on Twitter.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's I just want it. What happens is, I know you're getting so many DMs, you're getting so much stuff. It's even I started getting, I miss someone and I'm like, oh shit, he would be thinking I'm so rude. And that's what happens, because it's so sometimes difficult. I know it's very difficult to reach out every time. You have your own life to live, and you're thinking, oh, Jamie would be thinking this, and you're like, why is this guy irritating me? And all these
No,
thoughts
bro.
come in your mind.
See, also Nona, because I think I saw 2, 3 of your videos. I already had an idea of how your personality or aura would be. So I never came across as overbearing or in any way negative. So I would want you to keep that false notion completely aside because I had nothing but like good things to say about you.
Yeah, I think my next question would be that, because this overthinking, that's why I'm so single. So I want relationship advice.
Dude, I am so bad right now. Uh, what do I say, dude? What do you want to know?
I don't know. I'm like, it's the same
See,
thing. It's a, do you know Anurag Kashyap's daughter is on YouTube?
mhm.
She's making videos. So I think one of her videos, she was like, I'll send all my ex crushes a mail and a Q&A to ask, did you like me too, or did you know about it? And I'm like, should I do that? And then I'm like, no, bad idea.
No, I mean, are you asking for advice in terms of how to deal with it right now, or like,
Yes, I think that's because at the moment, I want so busy with this. It's so hard to even give time to family, and they are always pissed off. They're like, always you're doing work. What is the point of doing YouTube? We cannot get time, and all of that. So I'm like, do I have time, to give to someone?
okay,
That's
what I will say is never keep doors closed. Never keep doors closed because of what your situation is, thinking that it is not the right time. There is never a right time for it. So I'll tell you that, I've been in a long term relationship in my 20s while I was doing YouTube full time. That didn't work. And then I had like several, dates that I went on with people, and it doesn't eventually lead to something permanent. But there was never a time where I remember the most alone that I felt was at a time where I had myself decided that I am not going to meet anyone. I'm only going to focus on work. Whereas if I let things naturally happen to me, and for these social settings and like people coming towards you or you communicating with someone naturally happen, even though you're stacked with your time schedule and you can't prioritize her right now, these are all decisions that you're taking yourself without taking into consideration that they might be understanding of your predicament. So I feel like never keep your doors closed. Always keep the possibility of meeting someone magical, even during these weird times. The modern relationships are online, and sadly they start from online and then transition to become real life situations also. So I remember after the first wave had ended, I met someone amazing after the first corona wave, last year, end of last year. And if I had set in my mind that there is no way I can meet someone during this time, the situation itself is so bad, then I would have completely regretted not having those 1 or 2 months with them.
Yeah.
So I would just say that, when it comes to dating apps, when it comes to Instagram, when it comes to you even talking to someone, I think don't keep your doors closed with the preconceived notion that they won't understand how busy I am.
Yeah.
Always keep the door open, because you're curious. Yeah, you're always curious, and you shouldn't shy away from expressing yourself on whether you're interested in someone or not.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is a problem that can unravel later, rather than you already concluding why it won't work out.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, this was my friend's question. So I'll let him
Oh,
know.
yeah, 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 sure, sure. Okay.
The last thing, whenever things get better, you come to Goa, you have to come home for a meal.
Yes, dude, I was there 4 months, 4 months ago, 3 months ago. I was there.
And I messaged you.
Oh, you did. Oh God, I'm sorry I didn't catch. Now that you're there, now that we've set this friendship up, I'll definitely hit you up, and yeah, we'll chill, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll not have a beer because I don't drink.
Nah, of course, of course, of course.
See, that's oh, you're a Sikh and you're a Sardar and you're from Goa and you don't drink. I have to face
No,
that.
there are, I think, three of my Sikh friends, very close friends of mine. They don't drink as well.
No.
I think he's vegetarian also.
Okay, not that.
Yeah,
I'll
itna
put
nahi, itna nahi.
Itna nahi. All right. Thanks a lot, Jamie. Thanks. It was a great talking to you, and thank you for your time. It was, I think, enlightening in a sense, and I hope the viewers also enjoy this.
No, it was lovely, Nona, and keep going. And have faith in yourself. And I know you will persevere from all the hardships that you're going through. And it is a long road ahead, but it'll be worth it. Yeah.
Definitely. Thanks a
See you,
lot.
bro.
See you. So, guys, there's a podcast. Do let me know in the comments who else you want me to talk to. This is really something I wanted to do for a long time. Definitely would like to do more movie focused podcasts. So, do let me know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.